Mental health is an important issue many of us are struggling with. We at Teen Health 101 had several questions about our mental health, so we teamed up with Eliza Shapiro, a licensed psychotherapist practicing in New York City. In her clinical work, Eliza helps adolescents, young adults, and adults overcome a wide array of mental health challenges, including depression, anxiety, OCD, and related disorders.
As a therapist, I think that mindfulness is the most important part of anybody's mental health journey. So if somebody is recognizing that they are struggling in any way, or even thinking that they're struggling, that's an automatic sign. I need to be aware of my feelings and thoughts and behaviors, and I need to talk to somebody. And so I think the first thing to look out for is thoughts about yourself, right? Are the thoughts about myself that I'm having, do they seem healthy? Do they seem typical? And if you're wondering that maybe they're not the most supportive or positive, or maybe you're noticing more and more thoughts that don't feel really positive or healthy for you, that's one sign. Another sign is noticing your own emotions. Of course, tough emotions are part of everybody's life. But if you're noticing persistent hard emotions like sadness or anxiety, or guilt or shame that keep coming up for you that you just feel like you can't shake, that are getting in the way of your day, that are kind of impacting your mood more long term, that's another sign. And then the third category is any of your behaviors. So are you noticing that I don't want to spend time with my friends anymore? It's hard for me to leave the house. Or this feeling is kind of making me feel like I can't even get out of bed today. So if there are any behaviors that are associated with the way that you feel, also being able to stay aware of those and say, okay, this might not feel totally right. And then once you have that mindful awareness, the next step is always to talk to somebody about it, whether it's a trusted mentor, a parent, or even your friends, and just say, is this what you guys are going through too? And that way, even if they are, they can say, yeah, maybe we should talk to somebody together. Or they can say, no, like, that seems like that's a little intense for you to be carrying on your own. Maybe you should go get some support. And I think, kind of talking to somebody through them and just understanding, is this typical or is this atypical? And even more than that, is this working for me, right? Because maybe a lot of people are struggling with it, but it's making you have hard days every single day. So it's not working for you. So the next step is for sure to talk to somebody about it. Peers are great because they can support you. And then somebody that is either an adult that can help you get set up with a professional, or even somebody that is a professional, is really the next step. So working maybe with your parents or with a guardian or somebody that you really trust to get you set up is a great next step. In therapy, I always like to tell people it doesn't have to be a lifelong commitment, and it doesn't have to be too intense or scary or heavy. Sometimes it's so important to just know that you have a therapist on call if you need them, even if you only talk to them like a couple times here and there. And then you feel like, okay, I have some pretty good skills and tools, and if I need you, I'll call you back. And that's another really helpful way that I think is less overwhelming than, I'm signing up for therapy. It's this big, scary thing, and I have to do it forever for every single week. It doesn't have to be like that. But having somebody that can support you if you are noticing these things can be super, super life-changing. Number one is to just listen and support. So being able to just say, I hear that sounds really hard for you, and you're obviously going through something really challenging. Peers don't need to fix any problems. Peers are just there to listen and to validate and to support and to really emphasize that you're not alone in this struggle. And honestly, that's what most people actually need. And then the other big thing is that peers, so that we don't end up feeling overwhelmed when our friends come to us, we need to know where we can support and help and where we need to get more help. So being able to say, I'm here for you, I'm here for you. And then being able to say, this seems like a bigger issue. How can I help you find somebody that you can talk to that can really help you through it? So I think those are two really important things, to support and validate and listen. And the second one is to get help when it's beyond the scope of just friendship and peer support. And there are some really important things to always try to put into your routine. So first of all, taking care of your body is first. Making sure that your sleep is right, you're eating properly throughout the day. you're exercising and that's, incorporated into your daily routine, I would say that's probably number one. Number two, social support. If you're not seeing people that you care about or that care about you a couple times a week, then it can start to get pretty lonely. And that also ends up meaning that we'll be on social media more. So having social routine is also very important to put into your structure. Exercise or anything that kind of gets your endorphins going is another great thing to have in your routine. And then when our bodies are pretty sedated, our minds and our hearts can get kind of down as well. So it's important, super important to keep moving. And also what I love to tell people is to think about 1 or 2 long-term goals. Take care of your body, social, have a long-term goal, and then make sure to do something also that's just relaxing or pleasant.